All right, let's dive in. Today, we're going to talk about something that hits all of us: self doubt and the fear of making mistakes. But what if I told you we could actually turn those two things into our greatest strengths? I mean, have you ever had that voice in your head? The one that whispers, am I a real writer, a real artist, or, a real entrepreneur, a real whatever it is you're trying to be? That question, man, it can just stop you in your tracks. But here's a crazy thought. What if that feeling isn't a stop sign? What if it's actually a green light? So, this is where the author Stephen Pressfield comes in with an idea that just completely flips the whole thing on its head. He says that feeling that self doubt, it's not proof you're an imposter. It's actually proof that you care. It's a sign that what you're doing really, really matters to you. Pressfield actually goes a step further. He says you're basically in a war, the war of art, and you're fighting this internal enemy he calls resistance. It's his invisible force that does everything it can to stop you from creating. So, when you feel that doubt, that resistance, that's how you know you're on the right battlefield, fighting for something important. Okay, so if self-doubt is the compass pointing us in the right direction, what about mistakes? Well, this is where a quote from James Joyce comes in, and it is a total game changer. He says, mistakes are the portals of discovery. They're not obstacles blocking your path. They are literally the doors you have to walk through. I mean, just think about it. We're all taught to see mistakes as, well, failures, right? They're these annoying detours that take us off course. But this idea completely reframes that. The mistakes, the screw-ups, the moments we get it wrong, that's not a detour from the path. That is the path. That's the whole journey right there. So how does that actually work? Well, it's pretty simple when you think about it. You figure out what works by figuring out what doesn't work first. You find your own unique voice by trying on a bunch of other voices that just don't feel right. Every single wrong turn you take gives you a little piece of wisdom about the right direction. But here's the crazy paradox, right? The big trap we all fall into. The more desperately you try to avoid making a mistake, the more you tense up, the more anxious you get, and the more likely you are to actually make one. It's like a self-fulfilling prophecy of failure. And there's a name for this. The author Robert Greene calls it hyperintention. It's when you get so obsessed with a perfect outcome, the perfect result, that you end up completely sabotaging the process of getting there. You're trying so hard, you trip over your own feet. And you see this play out everywhere. You think, I have to give the perfect talk. And suddenly you're so anxious you can barely speak. Or, I must find a partner. And you come on so strong you push everyone away. When you fixate on the end goal, you poison the very steps you need to take to reach it. So, what's the flip side of this? What's the better way? Well, look at someone like Steve Jobs. He wasn't obsessed with becoming a billionaire. He was obsessed with creating the most beautiful, user-friendly designs possible. He focused on the process, on the purpose, and all that massive success, it was a byproduct. It followed the work. Okay, so how do we actually get there? How do we build this mindset? It really starts with thinking about courage differently. I love this quote from Mark Twain. He says, courage isn't the absence of fear, it's the mastery of fear. It's about feeling the fear and doing the thing anyway. And you can apply that exact same logic to what we're talking about today. Success isn't about having a perfect record, never making a single mistake. No way. Success is the mastery of mistakes. It's about getting good at learning from them, bouncing back, and becoming wiser because of them. This is such a powerful way to think about it from Jim Rohn. He says, don't wish it was easier, wish you were better. Instead of wanting fewer problems, wish for more skills. It's a total reframe. Every mistake, every problem isn't something to avoid. It's your training ground. It's the curriculum for becoming better. And that's exactly why you have to embrace mistakes if you ever want to achieve mastery. Picasso put it perfectly. You've got to learn the rules like a pro so you can break them like an artist. But guess what? Learning the rules means making a ton of mistakes along the way. Those productive failures are the foundation for real creativity. So, okay, this is all great in theory, but what about in practice? Here are 5 simple rules that can really help. Love yourself, do good, always forgive, harm no one, be positive. Now, number 3 is the one I really want to focus on here. Always forgive. And that doesn't just mean forgiving other people. It means forgiving yourself for not being perfect, for making those mistakes. You have to do that to keep moving. Which really brings us to the biggest takeaway of all. The struggle, the self-doubt, the mistakes. We need to stop thinking of them as annoying side effects that get in the way of the real work. Because they are the work. That wrestling match, that's the whole point. So, to make this mindset stick, you need to find a way to make it sustainable. A few things can help. First, treat your practice like a loving performance, not just some brutal chore. Give it your full attention and care. Also, find some balance. You can't just fight resistance 24/7. You need rest and rhythm. And finally, when your brain inevitably starts to spiral into anxiety, just gently bring it back to this moment, back to the work. And look, on those days when it feels impossible, when you feel like you're getting nowhere, just remember this. You might not be there yet, but you're closer than you were yesterday. And that's all that matters. It's not about perfection. It's about progress. So I want to leave you with a question to think about. Your next mistake, it's not a failure just waiting around the corner. It's a portal. It's a discovery just waiting for you. What do you think you'll find on the other side of it?
So don't run from it. Don't be afraid of it. Just step through the portal